In the spring of 2022, we bought a remote wilderness island, sight unseen, on a lake in British Columbia. We drove across the country to pick up an old barge, and now we're building a homestead.
Okay, this is ugly. This is kind of what we thought might happen. Oh no.
It isn't always easy, but the rewards outweigh the trials.
We're super excited! Woo! He's gonna turn the lights on for the first time.
And this is really living.
Coming up on this episode.
Get started, and you got a puddle. Once you got the puddle, then you can do your up and down, up and down.
What you doing, honey?
Just making sure we have everything that we asked for.
But also that it's not hockey stickish. And we haven't accomplished that this time. Yeah.
You don't need it.
What are you doing, honey?
Shopping. With Greg Evans.
Oh,
He's teaching
Greg Evans is here too. Look at that.
From the frozen silence of winter to the first blossoms of spring, the past few months have been full of planning, hard work, and preparation. And now, at last, it's time to head back to our wilderness island, ready to begin a brand new chapter. On a live stream not long ago, we mentioned that Ryan tried his hand at being an arborist at our home base. I promised that I'd show everybody the video. Well,
Yeah, but you have to wait.
he never said a word and quietly massacred one of our ornamental cherry trees. I promised to show it to all of you, and here it is. Do you see that? And those?
Yeah, you just wait though. It's gonna get all full and blossoming.
Enough said.
We have waited a long time to be in a position to take our sawmill out to the island, and this year we're finally taking it up to its new home. We looked around, and after much research, we eventually settled on the Norwood Lumber Pro HD 36V2. We chose Norwood for many reasons, not the least of which is that they come very highly rated. The other thing that attracted us to this mill is that it came completely unassembled, which forced me to install every nut and bolt on this machine. So going forward, any maintenance will be familiar to me, and that's a great comfort. When selecting our mill, we wanted one that had hydraulic controls. After all, we're not getting any younger, and the hydraulics will hopefully minimize the physical requirements needed to process heavy logs. This mill is a well thought out piece of equipment. Best of all, Melody should be able to run this mill while I bring logs to the loader. Oh yeah, it has a hydraulic loader that lifts the logs onto the deck. Pretty cool. I can't wait to see it all in operation. A friend of mine is a retired millwright and he builds hot rods in his garage.
This is kind of the proper way to do it. It's like a C.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so down, up.
He's
down
an
and up.
expert machinist and
Down and
welder and was kind
Down
enough
and
to
up.
spend some time
Down and up.
imparting some of his knowledge to
Down and
me.
up. So you get the rhythm of. This is about where you should be trying to get this flat 45 or whatever angle just
Yeah.
across here. If you're getting here, you're either going a bit too slow, you're getting too much weld. Here you took off too fast, being me, okay? So you're not joined from here to here, you're only joined from there to there. When you get to here, you're ending it, and that's better and okay. And that's the way it should be. Don't have thing if you don't have sting. Okay, what this is Ryan's weld. We started here, took off a little bit early, right here, left a hole.
Yeah.
Okay, that's typical. But that's the key. Get started. Don't be doing this. Just get started, and you got a puddle. Once you got the puddle, then you can do your up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down steady. And if you're doing it steady and you relax your trigger finger and the glove hand is holding everything steady. And that's where I say you weld with your left hand, because as your left hand moves along here very slowly or at the right speed, you're producing a good weld. Like this here is a good weld. You know, that's a lot of weld for something like this. But if that's what you were fabricating, this piece and this piece goes on here and this goes over here, that's a lot of weld. But it looks good. And
Yeah.
to me, I always said that if the weld looks good, it is good.
Our little doggy loves to run and play, and she also loves to sleep. I'm not sure what she's dreaming about here, but this was so cute that we just had to show you. She may be defending her food dish from whiskey jacks, or perhaps she's chasing squirrels or bears off the island. Whatever it is, one thing is for certain. Opal has a full life of adventure on the island.
Starting our day off with chia seed pudding, fresh seeds and berries. We'll need lots of power for the days ahead.
So I'm here with Darren from Canadian Hunt and Fish. Say hi, Darren.
Hey, how's it going?
He's going to tell me a little bit about welding. He's going to tell me a lot about welding. So we're here at KMS and we're looking at helmets and welders and we're trying to figure out what to do. But got the right teacher.
Doing any kind of welding, you got to keep in mind contamination. So if you're going to be welding steel, make sure you use a brush that only touches steel.
Okay.
If you're going to do aluminum, make sure that whenever you're doing any kind of prep work,
Oh, so mark the brushes. Steel
you want to make
brush,
sure
aluminum brush.
your brushes coincide with the material that you're using, because you will find if, let's say we were using this brush on steel and then use the same brush on aluminum, you would get some fouling or corrosion on the aluminum, and it would actually start to corrode on you.
Oh boy.
So you wouldn't want that. The other thing is, whenever you're doing any kind of grinding or prep work, that those grind shards aren't flying into your material that you're going to be working on. So you got to be kind of mindful of your surroundings and how you're doing that.
That is good advice.
Yeah.
I never would have thought of that.
Just going to clean this surface up just a little bit, and we'll have Ryan do a couple of welds, just kind of seeing how he does in terms of his speed and just how the wire feed comes out of the MIG gun. And then from there, maybe we'll try, doing some tack welds on some scrap steel here. And
We're going to be fabricating anything today?
I don't know, maybe we should build something. I don't know. Build a bucket for one of your machines or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
I need a new grapple.
Okay, there you go. We'll build a grapple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grapple. So can't wait.
Okay, so here's something else that you're going to want along with your safety gloves. You want some good gloves for that. I've just replaced these ones because I'm lending mine to Ryan today. So I get new gloves.
Perfect.
Don't tell the wife. Thanks, honey. And then this is just a pair of welding. They're like a snip to cut your wire feed out, because you want this to be freshly cut before you do any welding. It just creates more positive contact when you're welding your material. And then this will also act as a cleaner for your tip. It's got like a little file on the edge. And then sometimes this will get gunked up with splatter and whatnot. So you can use this to clean out the tip.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so when you're welding, you want to kind of, and I'm no professional, like I just kind of learned from a fabricator. You're going to look at these welds and you'll probably critique them and say, oh, those are horrible or whatever.
They look pretty good to me.
We're just we're just doing some teaching here. And hopefully you can learn something by the end of this video. It's very important to be able to see your weld when you're making your pass, seeing where that's pooling and how it's flowing. You don't want to like hold your nozzle, too long in one place and blow a hole out through your material that you're welding. But at the same time, you don't want to be going too fast and not getting that heat there and that penetration.
So speaking of helmets, this is what I picked up today. and it allows me to see, because I've tried looking through other helmets before and I couldn't see what I was doing.
Yeah, you definitely want a good quality helmet. Like the gentleman at KMS Tools said, buy once, cry once. So it's better to buy something that's quality, get that out of the way, and then it's going to last you a long time.
That's right. Good.
One other thing that you want to keep in mind is distance from your material. So obviously you don't want it right close to your material, because you're going to get like splatter and potentially mess up the tip on your MIG gun. And then you don't want it too far away, because then the shielded gases are kind of like not doing anything, and you're going to get like a lot of splatter and not a proper pool. So
all right,
we'll just let Ryan maybe take over here and maybe do a couple of passes and see how he does. All right, Ryan's going to do a quick tack here.
All right.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Yeah, good.
That looks good, eh?
That looks great.
Up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So
Right,
sort of.
but you'd be going like this.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to go this way, so...
Okay.
I have battled with the barge ramp since the day we bought it. I've hurt myself a few times and need to modify the setup so that I can control the ramps from the console at the helm. To do that, I need to learn to weld. The bonus will be that in the event of an emergency, Melody will also be able to lift the ramps by just pushing a couple of buttons.
Like you've done this before.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got a little clean.
The biggest challenge I'm having so far is seeing out of this helmet I just bought. It won't fit on my head. So, Darren's weld? My weld. No, just kidding. My weld, Darren's weld, and then the rest of this was my weld.
Yeah, this is really good. Right.
Yeah.
You could tack weld this in place,
Uh-huh.
and then you could use this as a cradle so that you know that it's sitting
Ah,
properly and in alignment, in plane with each other.
that's actually a very good idea.
Yeah, and then, if you're wanting to make these two pieces together, obviously you'd want to chamfer each side, with a little bit of a bevel, just so that you can get a little bit more weld in there, a little more penetration, so it'd be a stronger structural fit up. But for educational purposes in this case, maybe just leave like a 16th gap, and we can just maybe tack weld that in a couple of places, and then go from there. So I'll just quickly show you that. And then of course, you'd want to clamp this all down. But that's strong enough right now that it's not going to go anywhere.
It actually pulled them together when you welded.
It did, just with that heat.
Wow.
So again, it's always better to have it beveled for that reason, right?
Yeah.
And then if you're wanting to, weld that, I'd probably throw another tack here and maybe one on this side, just so things don't move around. But using something like this, that's like a pretty flat surface all the way around.
Yeah.
That you could.
That's a really good hack.
Yeah. Once you kind of start doing welding and fabrication, you may start to think a little bit differently. Like I've worked with wood for the last almost 20 years, and being introduced to welding has kind of opened up like a whole new realm of, working with metal and aluminum and doing some fabrication. And, I look at things and I'm like, oh, I could maybe make that. So as long as you've got the mindset and the confidence that you can, do something, and the proper tools and equipment make a huge difference.
That's key.
With the auto set on this Miller 235, it kind of makes it, that pretty well anybody can weld, as long as they're following the proper safety and
right,
and concepts
Yeah.
of that sort of thing, and practice.
Well, that's the thing. But I mean, look how much I've improved already.
Yeah, give yourself, you know, a couple more hours doing this sort of thing, and practice makes perfect. Really.
Yeah. Thanks so much for the tutelage today.
Yeah, pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so we're getting ready to go very soon, and we are just picking up our lumber. And this is like kind of a daily thing that we go through. What you doing, honey?
Making sure we have everything that we asked for.
But also that it's not hockey stickish.
Well,
And we haven't accomplished that this time.
We've got one that's a bit of a hockey stick, but
I can work with it though.
Yeah.
all right, we're good.
Okay, here we go.
This year, we decided to construct transport crates and load them onto our trailer with a forklift. I started with a standard pallet and added a 1/2-inch plywood floor. For tools, gear, clothing, food, and so forth, this will be the ultimate solution to our previous logistical challenges. Ripping 2x4s provided a cost-effective bracing for the internal structure. As you have seen in our other videos, transporting material and equipment to the island has been a challenge. The logging road can be crazy bumpy and things have actually been jettisoned off the trailer. Not only that, weather can wreak havoc on packaging and anything of a moisture-sensitive nature. To support the walls, I screwed and glued the lower bracing for the interface between each wall and the floor. With the supports in place, assembly was quite simple. I just screwed the walls to the bracing. Once the 3 walls are up, I add more bracing to the internal corners to connect everything together and provide increased strength and rigidity. By the way, these new and improved high-performance construction screws were pretty terrible. I kept twisting the heads off them, and that should not happen. The holes above these screw heads are the headless screws. This happened too many times for my liking. These horizontal braces will reinforce the connection between the top of the crates and the walls and will provide excellent stiffness. Building these crates myself was super cost effective, and I got exactly what I wanted in terms of size and durability. In fact, I can build 6 of these crates for the price of 1 of similar quality and strength. One last internal reinforcement brace will provide an attachment point for the top of the door.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
What are you doing, honey?
Shopping. With Greg Evans.
Oh,
He's
oh,
teaching
Greg Huffins is here too. Look at that.
I like what he showed me, but it only comes in black.
And you, what color do you want?
Well, I'd like
Wants camel.
a camo or a pink.
A pink one.
Not very big body. And the turkeys are open right now at home.
These turkeys are open, eh?
Yeah.
You think you get one of those, honey?
Him? If he's mad at me, otherwise I'm just gonna leave him alone. But if he's mad at me, I could get him. I could get all set up.
Well, yeah. No. They get drop times. They do get those.
Wow.
The
So today we are getting ready to load for the island, and we've got a nice list, and we're going through every single box and making sure that we know exactly where everything is.
The door is sized to fit the recessed face of the crate. So once it is screwed in place, this crate will be super solid and ready for transport. I was surprised at how many packages I was able to fit inside this single crate. These things are solid, and they offer great protection while simplifying the entire logistical process. I'm really happy with the result.
It's pretty rotten, honey.
What you're looking at here is the underside of the bottom of Kramer's doghouse.
A bunch of the wood's gonna have to be replaced.
Kramer was the family German Shepherd when the boys were younger. I'll have to cut the bottom off and remove the rot and restructure it with skids to keep it off the ground.
I think it's worth saving. It's just gonna be a hassle.
Some of the rotten material just crumbled away, leaving only the nails. So I'm just removing those with a cutoff wheel. And now that the surgery is complete, I can perform a little intermediate test fit. It looks like the doghouse is going to be a little shorter, but it shouldn't matter to Opal. After all, she's much smaller than a German Shepherd. Speaking of German Shepherds, that high-energy pup is Finn. You might recognize him from Oven's Rocky Mountain Bushcraft. Greg is here visiting us for a few days, and Finn has made himself at home. Finn cracks me up. He's always happy and is always wanting to play. I'm now inside the doghouse, securing the floor to the new skid rails I just attached below. Here I'm just adding another layer of wood so that the skid rails will have better lateral support. Next, I cut a 45-degree bevel on the ends of the skid rails to make dragging it and positioning it a little easier. The simplest way to get rid of moss and dirt is to power wash it. One of the ship laps is broken, so rather than try to find a match for it, I just decided to glue it up. Seems to be working. Okay, the doghouse is done and I think it looks good. I plan on finishing it to match the exterior of our cabin. We are now ready to load the trailer. Exciting times! We rented this little skid steer for a couple hours to help us with the job. Here's crate number 1, and it's packed full of all kinds of supplies for the season.
Getting ready to go. Starting to load it up. Got the fuel tank on. Got the batteries. Got one of our big crates. Everything's way more organized than it was last year.
Now we're on to crate number 2, more supplies, Amazon purchases, and room for clothing and bedding. This is awesome. Crate number 3 is packed with food. It didn't need to be quite as big, but it is sure heavy. This is so much better than hauling bins around. I think Opal's gonna like her new bedroom. It even has a covered area so that she can hang out while it's raining.
We are packing. We are leaving like in a few minutes. We have a scheduled ferry reservation and got my Invisalign, got all my stuff, and we're just about ready to go, like on the road. We've been planning for this for days and days and days, and we are like just about on the road.
The grease gun is actually for the trailer wheel bearings, but I'm going to add a little to the gooseneck ball so that it falls in place easier when I'm setting the through pin. The lever for the through pin is located inside the rear wheel well, so I pull the lever with one hand to retract the pin, give the ball a tap with a stick in my other hand, and Bob's your uncle. The trailer is now all secure and ready for transport.
We have a reservation, but we just want to make sure that we make it, so we're on our way.
We love our island and have high hopes for the year ahead. We are the most organized we've ever been, and even the long 14.5-hour trip is worth every minute of travel. I mean, we've got plans, and this year is gonna be a great one. Here we go!
You've just watched the very first episode of Season 4, and in case you missed it, we think you might enjoy watching the one right before as we ended Season 3. If you haven't already, we invite you to binge watch all of our playlists starting at Season 1 so you can have the full My Wild Home experience.